Hey there, it's iRun here. We're back on Farming Simulator 17, and we are starting my single-player world on the Goldcrest Valley uh, map as well. And I figure I'd walk you guys through the basics. It does have a tutorial section in here. We're going to use it to go through. This is basically for beginner tips. We're going to be doing some harvesting, some cultivating, and some sowing, which will be the three basic things that you want to do. Not necessarily in this order, because you have to cultivate before you can sow, and then obviously you have to sow and let the crops grow before you can harvest. But it starts off with harvesting, I guess, so you can make some money. So I'm not going to read all those things here, but basically it wants us to hop into the harvester here. Let's add our attachment there for our combine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press L1, hit X, and we can unfold the combine. We can also disable the straw swath if you want. That might be good starting out if you don't have a baler so you can pick it up. You need the straw for animals. You can also sell the straw to help you when you're getting started. But if you don't have the equipment to pick it up, then you're just basically wasting time. Well, you're not necessarily wasting time, but as you cultivate, you'll be just grinding it back into the ground. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And basically, for this very first part, it really only wants us to go this far, and then what we're going to do is we'll hire a worker, which is great because it teaches you, especially in single player mode, you need help, and you can't get that help from friends if they're not on with you, so you hire workers. Right, so we're going to hire a worker there, and he's going to continue to go ahead and harvest this wheat for us. Now we're going to pop right on over here to our cultivator. So the cultivator is what prepares the ground so that you can put the seed in it. So basically you can see here that this is an area that's already been harvested, and we need to just plow it in or cultivate it in, if you will. Again, we're going to press our X to attach the cultivator. Hold down our L1. We can fold the cultivator, but it's already unfolded, which is what we need it for here, and we can lower it. And we're just going to drive straight ahead. Now, one thing here is, as you see that part, it doesn't really matter. It'll slow you down a little bit, your vehicle, but it doesn't really matter, because if you're doing the area off your actual little farm plot, it doesn't do anything, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So just keep on going. We're going to drive up to here. It says great. So now we're going to hire a worker. And by the way, you can ride along with the worker. You notice, so they have female workers now too, as well as male workers, just like they have female characters in the game. Alright, so while she is doing that, let's pop on over here to the sewing machine. Alright. So we want to go ahead and attach that, and like every other piece of equipment, if we hold down our L1, we have a series of options. We can lower the sower, which we will need to do by pressing O. We can turn on the sower, but before we want to do that, we want to do two things. First, we want to use our left on the D-pad and open up the cover, and we want to select the seed. So if you look down in the bottom right corner where you see basically the fuel per liters, you'll also see right below that we have selected wheat. If we hit the triangle button, it switches over to barley. If we hit it again, so for like in this example, let's go ahead and put down some soybean. Why are we doing that? Because if we go into our options menu here and we look at what's selling well, soybean right now is on sale for 1,793 euros over at Goldcrest Pacific Grain, or for 2,079 at Mary's Farm. So you want to go for, what's selling well. So let's go ahead and plant some soybean here. So the last thing we need to do as we move on up is go ahead and turn on our sower using the square button. And again, it's not going to start actually sowing or using our seed until we get on there. If you hold your D-pad down it'll move you further away so you can get a more of an overview. If you hold it D-pad up, it'll move you in. That's really helpful when you're driving the large trucks and trying to make big turns. Just want to share that. Alright, so we're going to hire a worker there, and they're going to continue on sowing the rest of this field. So now let's move on over to our tipper. So this is what we're going to use to gather the grain that our harvester up there is picking up. We also have to press our X to attach this particular vehicle. And you can see a piece of equipment to the tractor, piece of vehicle. Yeah, it's a piece of vehicle. We're going to let it go, the combine over there, we're going to let it go ahead and turn around. And then as it turns around, we're going to pull up alongside it on its left-hand side. And as we do that, the pipe arm is going to come out. Now it can be a little bit tricky when you're first starting out, only from the standpoint of it trying to match its speed and stuff like that, so that you can get all the grain. You'll also notice as we get going, so I'm going to go ahead and go out like this so that I can match it up. If it gets to the end of this row and we haven't fully unloaded it, alright, so we want to kind of match up to it. It'll stop until we've loaded up. Oh, that's great. They put up the little thing right when we were driving, so that won't happen while you're playing normally. It'll only happen if you do this tutorial part. So it should stop at the end of this row and allow us to get what it's collected so far. Alright, so let's move off to the side here, let it do its thing. And if I hold down the L1 and press the L3 stick, we enlarge in our mini-map, and you can see that down there at Denton Bakery, it's flashing. It wants us to take our grain that we have right now, the wheat, down to the bakery, so they would have wheat to bake their goods, and we can go there and sell it. There's a couple of different things you can do. Again, if we go back into here and we look at wheat's not on sale right now. So the highlighted green areas are the things that are on sale. The red are like the lowest prices. So normally you might go, unless you just need money, you might wait until it's on sale and in great demand so that you can get the best price. So until then, you would just put it in your silos. So that's normally what I would do, except you're starting off here, so what they're trying to do is get you some money. So I'm going to go on over to Denton Bakery, and I will meet you over there in just a minute. Alright, as you can see, we're coming up on the bakery here. We're going to pull on here. It's going to actually end the tutorial, or I guess the tour, however you want to call it. If you decide to play it, you'll have a I guess, look at it. So what we do now is we go up here, and in this case we hit our R1 now, and you can see if we hit our triangle while holding the R1, it's going to offload the grain, and our money's going up. Alright, so that's really is the basics of Farming Simulator 17. It's cultivating, sowing, and harvesting, and then selling some crops. Now there's other things you can do. Obviously you can use the train to transport your grains and stuff. Now you can also do logging and forestry like we did in Farming Simulator 15, but I just want to give you the basics here. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, or if you have any questions, leave that down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and until next time, this is iRun, and we will see ya.